applied for venture funding. And when I got to the financial portion, I went into a shame spiral because I thought my business is not where I want it to be. My numbers are not where I want them to be. I feel ashamed. And it was rough, and I had to push through and finish the application and submit it. But since then, I've been thinking about this money shame spiral I went into, and how do I resolve it in the long run? And the spoiler alert is that money shame is not actually about money. Shame is the fear of getting kicked out of the village. It's the evolutionary fear of getting kicked out of the village. And so it wants you to be successful in terms of what the village thinks. And now the village is the world because we have TikTok and Instagram and all the things. And so for me in that moment, I was like, I should be more successful. So the village likes me. So people like me. So people think I'm smart. So I don't get kicked out. And obviously in 2025, it's safe to get kicked out of the village because we have modern amenities. You can get your own apartment. People sometimes are disowned by their family, and obviously that's very difficult, but they're still safe. So in 2025, it's safe for people to not think I'm successful. But my brain tells me that the only way to heal my shame is to make more money, is to be more successful. And if I believe that, it's not helpful because then I am just running, trying to make more money. And if I don't make more money, I beat myself up. But the spoiler alert is that even if I make more money, I'm still going to experience shame. Shame does not disappear when you make a certain dollar amount. And we know that because we have Elon Musk. Okay, he is probably today the richest man in the world, or he was yesterday, or he will be tomorrow. And this man, obviously, I'm not going to get into it, but based on his actions, we know he has some shame that he's processing. He wants to be cool. He wants to be hip. He wants to be accepted. And that is what drives some of the decisions he has been making. So if I make more money, the shame just changes, right? Like another example is Travis Kelce I think he's probably a multimillionaire. I don't know his net worth, but he lost the Super Bowl. And now after that, I imagine he felt shame because they got crushed, right? His team got crushed. And, he's supposed to be the leader on the team. And I saw a little clip of him. I haven't done a deep dive or anything, but he was really bummed and sad and was like, I should have done better, that's what the shame voice says. So he's a multimillionaire and he still has moments of intense shame. And I also know that because there were moments in my life where I wasn't ashamed of my financial status. I was proud of how much money I was making and how much money I was saving. And I went into some pretty intense shame spirals about some mistakes I made at my nonprofit job. So again, the shame wasn't attached to money. At that point, it was attached to me asking a youth in custody a question that was illegal to ask, and then almost blowing up the partnership, the executive director of the youth prison calling and threatening to end the partnership. And I went into a multi-month shame spiral because of that. And I didn't have the tool, this was 10 years ago. I didn't have the somatic tools I have now to get myself out of it. So I was just in that fucking shit for months. So we want to detach the shame from the circumstance. Maybe you're getting divorced. It doesn't have to be money. Maybe it is debt. Maybe it is whatever. The shame actually has nothing to do with the status, because even when the status changes, even if you make $1 million and you pay off all your debt, or even if you get married to the hottest person ever, you're still going to have moments of shame. You're still going to have moments like Travis Kelce after the Super Bowl where you just feel like shit. So what can you practically do when you're in a money shame spiral, which I was on Sunday, so I have been there. The research shows one of the best ways to process shame is to tell somebody, to tell a safe person. Don't tell TikTok, okay? I can tell you from experience, TikTok is not always the nicest when you share your shame story. You want to wait until you've processed it before you share it on TikTok. But tell a good friend, a safe person in your life, your shame story. You can tell them your number of your debt number, or your income number, or your number of months being unemployed, whatever makes you feel shame to someone. It could be a therapist, it could be a coach, it could be a good friend, it could be a kind-hearted family member. Tell them the story. And one of the ways to heal shame is to just still be accepted, right? Shame is the fear of getting kicked out of the village. And you have this micro interaction where you aren't kicked out of the village. The person says, oh, I've been there. I was in debt. I was in this much debt. Or they say, you're so smart. I'm glad you invested in that business coaching program. I'm glad you invested in university. You're going to make this money back even though you're in debt. That's the micro interaction that tells your nervous system you're not getting banished. You're not getting kicked out of the village. It is safe. Even though the circumstances, your financial circumstances, are not where you want them to be, you are safe. So that's the number one thing. The next thing is to help your body complete the stress cycle. Shame is a physiological thing, right? I feel it sometimes in my chest, and it's like heavy and pulling me down. Sometimes it's on my back. It kind of feels like black tar to me. I don't know. Put in the comments if it feels like black tar to you or not. But I feel weighed down by it. It's physiological. So you can help your body complete the stress cycle by going for a walk, going for a run, going for a swim, putting on a song and dancing, whatever kind of movement you enjoy, that will help your body complete the stress cycle. Remind yourself that your financial situation is not causing the shame, because that is how we can. I told you I was in this multi-month shame spiral, and that's what happened to me, is that I believed making the mistake caused the shame, and I was replaying the mistake over and over and over and over again in my head, and experiencing the shame over and over and over again. And I was equating the two. Like, because I made this mistake, I feel shame. I didn't believe that I could make a big mistake at work and feel okay. I didn't know that was possible. So remind yourself that that's possible. And the final thing you can do when you're in the money shame spiral is heal the underlying trauma that's exacerbating the shame. So I know for me, the reason that on Sunday I was in a huge shame spiral is not totally about my business financials. It's about something from my past where I, had to be quote unquote perfect to stay safe. Some trauma from my past that I'm not going to go into, but you can use your imagination. So the more that I can heal that underlying trauma, that deep trauma, the less I'm going to end up in shame spirals, and they're going to be less intense. And to heal that, you do inner child work, you do somatic work with the feelings of shame and helping your body process them, and learning, teaching your nervous system, teaching your body that it's safe. And this is the work, the exact work I do with my one-on-one clients in our sessions, is going into the body, doing this deep inner child work. And so if you want to take the first step to healing some of your money shame, head to the link in my bio, the link in the description that has the Somatics to Heal Money Blocks free workshop. It's going to start to teach you these somatic tools that's going to help you process the shame in your body. You're going to hear some other people's money shame stories, which can be really healing too. I know on my journey with debt, hearing other stories of people who are in debt and who got out of debt was really healing for me. So that is a part of this free workshop as well, as you'll hear other people's money shame stories, and you'll even get a worksheet that takes you through the steps of this somatic process that is going to help you process the shame and heal it. So head to the link in my bio, the link in the description. Check that out. And if you took something away from this discussion of money shame, please share it in your stories or send me a message. I love to hear from you. I'd love to hear your questions. And I'm with you on this journey through money shame, and we're going to make it out. All right. All the best.